Hi there 3DMJ listener, I'm Lawrence. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago about the SBS Academy. Remember the year-long online course that Eric Helms and Dr. Mike Zordos teach on? I just wanted to remind you that enrollment is currently open and it's only going to stay open for another couple of weeks. So if you're interested in studying on one of the industry's best loved coaching courses, covering everything from how to streamline your online coaching process to the nuts and bolts of diet periodization for bodybuilders, all on our brand new app, which is designed to make your learning as simple as possible. I would continue listing the awesome stuff we've put together, but I only have 60 seconds for this ad. Then head over to shreddedbyscience.com/academy. shreddedbyscience.com/academy. On that page, you should be able to find out everything you need to know. It should be fairly simple for you to navigate. If you do have any questions about anything that's not on that page, then please email me at lawrence@shreddedbyscience.com. That's Lawrence, LAWRENCE @shreddedbyscience.com.
Hi 3DMJers, this is Andrea Valdez, and today I'm talking to Brad Loomis and Jeff Alberts about how they've become pro natural bodybuilders and national level powerlifters while doing most of it, if not all of it, training at home. We don't just talk about what equipment they have or what exercises they select, but we also dive into the mental pros and cons of having a home gym. Most importantly, we address the question that these guys get all the time, which is how the hell are they able to stay so motivated in an isolated environment day after day? If you have a home gym, if you're considering a home gym, if you are a coach with athletes who have home gyms, or if you simply have to train at odd enough hours that nobody's around you at your public gym, we hope this episode provides some valuable insight on how some high-level strength athletes make it work. As usual, if you have any feedback or comments on this particular episode, head over to 3dmusclejourney.com and leave it under podcast number 61. Here is Bodybuilding at Home with Brad Loomis and Jeff Alberts. You two gentlemen train at home, and it blows people's minds all the time. Jeff, I think this weekend someone was talking to you about it. Tell me again. Or what's the normal question you get?
A lot of times it's how do you stay motivated? You know, because I train by myself in a gym. You know, there's no clanging of weights. The atmosphere is kind of just like super quiet. Okay. So that's a common one. How do you stay motivated? Or you basically can do everything in there. That's another question. Like, I guess the assumption is you need a lot of equipment to build a good physique. Okay. So that's probably two of the more common things.
Brad, same to you?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably 90% of the questions I get is how do you stay motivated? And like Jeff said, you know, people are like, well, how do you do it without a leg press? You know, how do you do it without such and such? And how do you do it without this and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, it's just, you're around the sport long enough, you know how to do things without a leg press, without having to squat, you know. And yeah, sometimes you might have to buy some little piece of equipment, you know, like something to do a belt squat with or something like that. But you figure out how to do it.
Okay. So let's start with like physically, logistically, that's probably not the word, like the equipment wise and exercises. And then we'll go into like how to motivate, how you as a person deal with it. Right. But as a body, let's start. Jeff, what are the movements that you do at home? Or should we talk about equipment first? Equipment and then movements?
We can do equipment.
Okay, so what do you have in your gym?
Let's talk about space, then I'll do equipment.
Okay, go for it.
So this space, I would say it's because I have a 3-car garage. One third is dedicated to the gym. So we're talking maybe 10 by 15. Yeah. 10 feet by 15 feet. That's my home gym. That's it. So there's not a lot of space. Equipment-wise, I have a half cage. It's a hoist half cage with a Smith machine. It's got a low pulley. It's got a high pulley, which is kind of nice because I can do like, you know, all the seated cable rows, cable curls, things like that on the low pulley. Then the high pulley, I can do like, you know, the pull downs and things like that. Okay. And then I have like an adjustable bench, so I can do incline. I can do decline if I wanted to. I have a leg extension that attaches to the bench, so I can do leg extension, leg curl. And I have I only have one barbell left. I broke 3 over the last 13 years. I have one left. Hopefully it holds up. So I have one barbell left. I have dumbbells that go up to 100 pounds. I have adjustable dumbbells that go up to 75. And then I have 80s to 100 that are like by themselves.
Okay.
So the adjustables save up a lot of space.
Yeah.
They're a little frustrating at times as far as changing it, but I mean, they save a ton of space, and they were a lot cheaper than buying a whole rack of dumbbells for sure.
Okay.
I also have a pec deck that's attached to the half cage, which is nice. And
wow.
as far as weights, I have over 1,000 pounds of weight. So it's plenty.
It's plenty.
Plenty of weight there. I can't. Obviously, I'm never going to use 1,000 pounds at once. I'm trying to think. I've made a calf block. So like when I do calves out of the Smith machine, so I made a calf block out of 2x4s. Put some ladder tape there so my feet don't slip. That thing's lasted 13 years. I haven't broke it yet, so that's been holding up.
You just broke the calf.
And it's yeah, right. I broke a calf before I broke the damn 2x4. What else? Oh, like handles, like different handles and attachments. Like I've, like depending on what I want to do, like for back work, I've bought in like different, like for seated cable rows, I've bought in like the wide handles so I can activate my lats and my mid back a little bit better. So there's little things I've had to purchase along the ways to kind of make my training a little bit better over time.
Okay, little baby, like accessories for your cage.
Yeah, okay. Basically. So that's probably the logistics of it.
The setup or the physical setup of it. Yeah. And that's pure bodybuilder. So you do have
no powerlifting equipment or no Olympic style equipment or anything like that. I do have some matting that's, I don't even know if you want to call it matting. It's like rubber mat. It's a rubber mat. It's maybe 5/8 thick, 3/4 inch thick. It is super dense. Like I've done 400 or 500 pound deadlifts on it and not one crack in the concrete underneath. Those were a little pricey, but they were definitely worth it.
Yeah. Okay. And
powerlifter
Brad, let's go. What do you got?
Because mine's basically a shittier, rustier version of exactly what Jeff got. The difference are I don't have a pec deck. I don't have a Smith bar. My bar is broken and has been broken for a long time, and I've managed to jerry rig it at least 3 times to keep it working. So that'll be my next big purchase.
How is it broken?
Well, the collars, broke off, and so I had to kind of put it back together, weld it, put another collar over it, screw it down, and hold it. So I think my 20 kilo bar weighs 22.5 kilos.
Okay.
But outside of that,
is it still balanced right?
It is balanced right. It is
He wouldn't tell.
At least to my recollection. Like if I set it up on something and center it, it doesn't fall over. So.
Well, Andrea, now we know why he squats crooked.
See, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe it's balanced just for Brad.
Yeah. It's not my crooked back. It's that one side's heavier. And then outside of that, I just purchased some kind of little specialty items. Like I purchased that fancy front squat harness where I can do front squats and Zercher squats.
Okay.
I purchased a couple bumper plates. Jeff, you actually got a couple bumper plates now too, right? Didn't you get a couple?
I bought 2 bumper plates. Yeah, I think they're 10s. Yeah, just so I could teach my wife how to deadlift.
Mm-hmm. And I bought some 25s more so just because I only have about 3/8 of an inch matting, and I don't have a concrete floor. Mine's my bedroom floor.
That's right. Yours isn't in the garage. Yours is in the house.
Correct. Bedroom. Yeah. Okay. So I was fearful. I wanted to have the bigger bumper plate doing most of the pounding, on the deck. And then of course my kettlebells, because I'm an RKC. So I have 3 kettlebells that I use pretty frequently.
Do you have dumbbells?
I have an adjustable set of dumbbells like Jeff.
Okay.
But mine only goes to 55.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Xander's set of dumbbells, the little cheapies with the spin lock collars that I use on occasion. And I have one 90-pound dumbbell.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
And it's the same amount of space as Jeff's. It's a bedroom, So, I mean, bodybuilder, powerlifter wise, it works just fine. I have chains. I never use them.
Okay.
I have a way that I could hook up bands. I never use those. So.
Do you have pulleys also?
Hmm? Yep, a high-low cable pulley. Yep.
Okay. How much do you think it cost you guys? Everything in your garage or everything in your room?
Question I get a lot. Yeah.
That's a question you get a lot. Yeah. How much?
The hoist. Yeah. The half cage. I bought it 13 years ago in 2004.
Okay.
So I mean, you can only find it used now. But at the time, I paid for that half cage plus two 300-pound sets of weight was I think it was like $1,900 I paid.
Okay, and that kind of just started you out.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like when you buy a car. Like back in 2004, this version of this car cost this much. Now the version costs this much.
Yeah.
Like literally, I think the price is probably almost tripled, or like 2.5 times the amount. Because it's 13 years later.
Yeah.
But I think in total, you add up like all the weights, the dumbbells, the everything that's in there, probably like maybe 3,000, 3,200, somewhere in there. But I've kind of figured that it's already paid itself off because I factor in the gym fees every month.
And gas to go to the gym.
Gas to and from the gym, and not to mention time and all that. It's definitely paid itself off. So. Okay. Just the time for me, time-wise, was huge. Because at the time when I got my home gym, I was commuting 3 hours a day, and then going to the gym on top of that. So it was a big, it was so well worth the money. It was probably the best investment I did at the time.
You that was the year that you started training at home?
Yeah, 2004.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That's the last time I've had a gym membership. 2004.
Brad, what about you?
Well, my most of my equipment was free because my former training partner Billy Funk, who was killed in 2009, his mom and dad, they gifted me all of his stuff. But when we talk about space, he trained in his bedroom and he had a futon. So the futon would fold up, and then he would have enough room to train on his equipment. And then at night, he'd put the futon out and
savage.
Basically sleep right next to his power cage. And
that's
that
awesome.
If you knew that about Billy, you pretty much knew Billy. And that was definitely him. But I've seen similar equipment that I've got on Craigslist for as little as $300 for the cage and a barbell and a mess of Olympic plates, I think the majority of kind of my time, money, and effort went into converting the spare bedroom, into a space that was safe enough to be able to lift in. I kind of reinforced the floor a little bit. I built a platform on top of the floor. Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't, we live on a big hill. I didn't want that thing going down the hill, so.
Right. Well, and you used to have it outside until recently.
Yeah.
All that equipment was on your deck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I got tired of fighting with the snow and the rain, and I built 2 covers over it, and one flew over the house when we were gone. And so after that, I was like, I'm done.
Do you remember the post I put when he was squatting in the snow? I said it's you could look at it 2 ways. It's very inspirational. Here's this guy out there on the deck. It's like 20 degrees out, snowing, and he's squatting at night. Or you can say he's crazy as shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a damn good point. Well,
that'll be the end of the podcast. We start talking about motivation.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So when did you? So that was 2009 when you started training at home. Then, before that, you were still going to gym the whole time.
No. Good question. When I sold my gym, when I sold Healthy Bodies Fitness in 2000, and I think that was 12, maybe 2013. Mm-hmm. 2013. When I sold Healthy Bodies Fitness, that's when I pretty much predominantly started just training at home here. Once we got that conversion all done and then moved into another facility, kind of what was left over, which was Billy's equipment, some plates, a couple things here and there, I pretty much took that and brought it home and made my home gym.
Okay. Now within your gym, right, do you, and then we'll do the same thing if it's cool with y'all, just Jeff, Brad, back and forth. Jeff, do you feel like you ever, I guess, not now, I'm sure you don't, but do you ever feel like you missed anything? Like when you moved into just training at home, what were you like, shit, I don't have this, or did that not ever happen?
Yeah, because back then, like in 2004, my bread and butter like leg movement was like hack squat. Okay. Loved hack squats. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, how am I going to train legs? At the time, I wasn't a fan of just back squatting, like normal squatting. I wanted to do like some type of hack squat. Okay. Didn't have a leg press, obviously. So what I did was I turned the Smith machine into a hack squat. So by basically like stance? Like, you know, when you're in a Smith machine, you don't want to try to mimic a regular squat on a Smith machine. Right. You know, so what I was trying to do is like, okay, if I put my feet out in front, that's going to keep my hips basically the same. It's going to keep my back flat the entire time as I go down and up and down the sled. Right. So basically it was mimicking a hack squat. So that was my bread and butter for about 5 years. Okay. Like my quad training. I would do like leg extensions off and on because I had the attachment. So I did miss like a good hack squat machine. Yeah. So that was like the one thing I was like, man, I really wish I can get a hack squat. I still feel that way. I still feel like if I had room, which I do, but then won't be able to get any cars in the garage, I would get a hack squat machine, maybe a leg press.
So what are your like your primary movements right now? Your horizontal push-pull, your vertical push-pull, your lower body,
So lower body is back squat and front squats. Those are the bread and butter. Deadlifts. I do leg curls on occasion or RDLs. Yeah, I have the attachment. I do Smith calf raises for calves. So that's pretty much lower body. Yeah. That's basically it. There's not too much else I'll throw in there. I'm not a fan of lunges, so I don't do them. As far as like my pushing, it's bench press or dumbbell press because I have the bench. For back work, I'll do rack rows. Like I'll set up the safety arms to about mid shin level, mm-hmm. and I'll row off of that on the cage. Okay. If you go on the YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel, it's there. Mm-hmm. Seated cable rows, one arm rows. So just most of the stuff you can do in a gym. Mm-hmm. I just don't have the fancy like Alberto's like is in love with the high row, the hammer strength high row mm-hmm. and all that. Like if I did have room, I would say okay, I would probably invest in some type of back machine, some type of row. Just because I don't want to kill my back. Like I don't want to kill my legs and lower back, so it doesn't interfere with my squatting and deadlifting.
Yeah, rack rows are pretty full body.
Yeah, and I can't do seal rows because the adjustable bench I have, I can't really get a barbell under there. There's not enough room because it adjusts. So it's like, I could do it. I could do it with I could do chest supported dumbbell rows on it, but it's so hard to get the dumbbells in position. So I really don't do that one. It's not too practical.
That's pretty much, I know, it covers your full body. What do people freak out about them? Like, how do you get
Because everybody thinks bodybuilding is complicated. It's really like I've made like I said in the last podcast, probably, anywhere between 9 to 12, 13 exercises, my bread and butter movements. And you can hit almost every body part with everything I have in my gym. Yeah. The only time it gets a little tricky and challenging is when I'm, you dealing with little neck aches and pains and injuries that, maybe like your shoulders, you have some niggles, you can't really use dumbbells because that kind of hurts. You wish you had some type of like chest machine or something like that. Okay. But that's where my pec deck comes into play. Like, okay, I use pec deck, so that way I don't have to do any type of pressing.
Right. All right. Bradley?
Well, I'm going to make a note right here that for Christmas, I'm going to get Jeff a different flat bench for seal rows.
I thought he was going to say he's going to buy me a hack squat machine. I was like, yeah.
I'm a tightwad, Jeff. You know that.
But the thing to consider though is if you wanted a leg press or a hack squat, you'd have to buy so many more 45s. Like you have to buy so much more weight.
Yeah.
You have like 10 plates on that shit.
I have enough weight. Yeah. I have 100-pound plates. I have 200-pound plates. I have enough weight for a hack squat, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't. I've only got about 470 pounds, so I had to go elsewhere to do my heavy deadlift training.
Do you? Okay, so that's good to know. Is that, tell me all the things, Brad. Do you miss anything? Do you have to leave sometimes? And what do you do right now that works out just fine in your gym?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was one of those guys that was like, you can't have a bodybuilding career and train at home. You can't do it. You know, you need to have dumbbells from 5 to 100. You need to have cables. You need to have a leg press. You need to have this. You need to have that. I was one of those guys, so I was kind of guilty. But yet at the same time, you know, I've had 2 clients on my roster just in the last month make their own home gyms. And, you know, stuff that's pretty similar to what Jeff and I have. And of course, as you get older and wiser, you realize that what I've got, I could easily do powerlifting or bodybuilding the rest of my life just fine. Now, that being said, I do enjoy, you know, going at my once a week trip to Reno, you know, and it's not that I don't know that I would still do it. It's a convenience thing. I have to go over there to work part time. And so it's there. I have nothing else to do. I'd be sitting at home, either picking my nose, you know, or just laying around doing nothing.
It's bicep work.
The wrist curls.
Yeah. Grip work. And so, yeah, I do enjoy, you know, going to that gym. And so I get an outlet there. You know, they've got a hammer strength row machine that I absolutely love. You know, little things like that. They have a really fancy belt squat machine, and so split squats are something that's pretty much a staple into my program. And I like to do the split squats on their belt squat machine. That's
like
really,
the pit
really
shark?
Nice. That I don't know. But
that's what it's called, right? A pit shark.
It could be. I just know of it as I'd have to Google pit shark, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I mean, you hold on like this. The thing kind of goes onto your dip belt, and then you squash out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the nice thing about, you know, the way that my program is a lot of these things I can do either place. So, you know, if I'm missing the belt squat machine, I've got, you know, one of what's our sponsored athlete that gave us the brute belt? Carl
Nelson.
Carl Nelson gave us the brute belt, and I can do split squats with, you know, up to like 200 pounds hanging off of my brute belt.
Is that thing?
Move it. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
That's basically it. Yeah, the handle's just a little bit lower is all.
Cool.
I love hyperextensions. You know, they're kind of the bane of my existence, but I can do that either place. At the gym, of course, hyperextension machine up, but I can get the same angle just leaning over my couch.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys in a follow-up question if there was any body weight exercises that y'all do.
I got creative with hyperextensions because I basically put the Smith machine about waist level, and then then I moved my 100-pound dumbbell to where you would put your feet for the seated row, cable row.
Okay.
So I just basically I cinch my ankles up underneath that dumbbell, and I lean over the bar, and I can do hyperextensions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all are fancy.
So you get creative. That's one thing I learned when you get a home gym is you get really creative, and you realize you could do more with less. You learn to become very efficient. So a lot of those insecurities that people have when they say, there's no way you can get like that with a home gym. A lot of those insecurities kind of start to dissipate because of that creativity, and you get really efficient.
Well, and just the desire to do it too. You know, I tried like hell to figure out a way to do seal rows, and I tried like hell, and I tried like hell, and I tried like hell, and finally, I had to cough up about $70 and buy myself a nice low flat utility bench, and I propped it up on a couple crates, and now I don't want to do seal rows anywhere else but at home.
Because it's like the perfect fit.
Yeah.
So do y'all feel weird when you go to gyms Or I guess Jeff, because Brad, you still go once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just went to Gold's Gym Venice for the first time yesterday and trained.
How did it feel?
And the athlete that I was with, Michael Hiller, he's like, I asked him, I go, is it weird seeing me in the gym like this? He's like, yeah. So I get that a lot. Like people, when I go to like whenever we have a function or something, I'm like at a gym, like it's weird seeing you in here. But yeah, it feels a little weird. Like sometimes I'll walk in the gym and I'm like, what the hell is that? Like I'm like I don't even know what some of the equipment is anymore. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, they make some
But it's
crazy
fun
shit.
because like it's cool because yesterday like he's like, so you want to bench press or whatever? And I'm like, no. I go, let's go play with the machines. They're like toys to me. So I just want to do nothing but machines to try them all out, you know? But I'd say I probably 1% of the time I might be in a regular gym, like a commercial gym.
Yeah. Like I was telling y'all before I started recording, I would hate to have. I think that right that I know that I need to leave the house every day, and because we work at home, I would feel so suffocated if I didn't leave. I don't know how y'all do it, but
that's one of the cons to a home gym for me.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. Yeah. What else do you not? Okay, so you don't have all the toys, whatever, but we've already established that that's not entirely necessary. But what else do you feel like you miss out on?
Like you said, just getting because we work at home, so it's like I'm here all the time. So even my wife is like, why don't you go to a gym like once a week just so you can get out and be around other people, you know, because you do become isolated. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I've considered. I'm like, but there's really like here in where I live, there's not too many good gyms around. Yeah. There's one that's maybe 15, 20 minutes away. So I'm like, okay, if I go drive 20 to and from, that's 40. If I train for an hour, hour and a half, then it's like a couple hours away from home. And it's like literally it's like, I always ask myself, do I really want to spend 2 hours away from the time I would have towards my kids? Yeah. So okay. So for the time being, like if I can just get in my car and go to the store or something, that's enough to kind of get me out. But yeah, that's one thing I would say, like probably just getting out every once in a while and go train at a gym just to get a different environment would be probably refreshing. Okay. What about you, Brad? Do you feel like you miss out on anything during the week when you're at your home gym?
Not really, but I get that outlet though. I mean, 25% of the time I go to the other gym and I train and I get the camaraderie and I get to meet, you know, and talk with like-minded people. But, you know, even if I didn't, like, let's say, you know, that there is some point where I could afford, you know, benefits and not have that job anymore, I think I would still probably at least once every couple of weeks just go down here to the end of the street to the little gym that was purchased from me, Healthy Bodies Now Community Gym. I think I would still go down there at least once or twice a week, you know, just because I'm the same way. It's like the perfect blend. 5 days at home and I'm tired, I'm suffocating, I'm ready to get, you know, the hell out of here. I would need that too. I would definitely need that too. I will say, for whatever reason, I think that, you know, and this could segue into our next, you know, kind of subject, is just that motivation. Because there's a lot of times when I'll lift the same load over there, you know, in Reno that I do here, and it feels so much easier and so much lighter there. I don't think it's real. I don't think it's an actual, you know, lighter by pound, you know, maybe kilo or whatever.
It's those collars that you messed up.
It could be. I doubt it though. I doubt it. I really do think it's just kind of the environment and the mindset. And yeah, I think that's the one thing I do miss is just having that environment and that camaraderie. I mean, sometimes I have to get creative to get myself pumped up to go and train in the spare bedroom. And over there, man, sometimes those guys, especially when they're having like their group kind of barbell club powerlifting kind of West Side type, you know, training sessions that you see the famous YouTube videos, those things do look like a lot of fun, you know, where they've got some sort of a crazy contraption with overload bands and, you know, buffalo bars, and they're just taking turns, you know, and they're waving ammonia and slapping each other on. It looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, see, I
hate
that.
I think that's one thing that I would like to
I'm like you, Andrea. I'm like, that does nothing for me.
Yeah. No, see, that's the thing though, right? Is I have to go to the gym. Like I have to leave the house, go to the gym. I love it, but when it's full, I get a little like I don't like it. I would rather go to the gym and be 100% by myself, which kind of happens probably 3 or 4 times a week, because it's a small private gym. So I'd say at least part of my workout, at least 3 or 4 days a week, I'm 100% by myself, and I love it. But it's just not in the house. Because when I was in California and we lived with Ogus, we had a squat rack in the garage and a place to deadlift, and sometimes the guys would train on there, and I'd still go to Gold's every day. So I don't know. But Jeff, when you trained at gyms, did you train by yourself, or do you appreciate that camaraderie?
I trained both, but it usually would just be like one person, maybe 2 at most. But it was never like like back then when I was going to gyms, there wasn't a lot of Olympic lifting or even powerlifting in the gyms. I was like more like like 20. I trained at 24-hour fitness, which was I don't even remember the name of it. It was 24-hour fitness in Newark, California.
Okay.
And what's kind of interesting is Berto trained there off and on, I guess, but after I was already like gone.
Okay.
And he's like, for some reason, this hack squat machine came up, so we both know like this is like the hack squat machine of the gods.
The hack squat machine.
But yeah, there was more bro-y, I guess, back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was motivated. Like for me, it was like seeing like the 250-pounder just like jacked dude training. That was like motivating to be around that, because they're so massive. But it was more like bodybuilders type gym.
I don't know why I've never liked training with people, even if it's one or like seeing whoever's there. It doesn't matter.
Usually one, and usually they never lasted too long, because back then I was training like super high intensity, like everything was to failure, and so people wouldn't last too long. I wonder why now. But anyways, basically killed them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd never liked crowded gyms though. Like you, I just like.
Yeah.
I'd go at times when it wasn't peak hours. It was like usually off peak hours.
Yeah.
And I was more serious too. Like my training was more hardcore. Like I was that guy that don't be talking to me when I'm training.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I wanted to get my training in. But the gym that I really loved was when I first was starting to kind of get into it was Bob's Gym in Fremont. This guy Ed Corney, who was in Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he trained there. There was just a lot of nostalgia there, and there was a good camaraderie feel there. Like a lot of the guys that competed at the Mr. Fremont and all that back then, they all like a lot of them trained out of that gym. So that was very motivating for me when I first started out.
Right.
So that kind of got me my juices flowing, and it helped me to train like hard, like a good work ethic. Okay. So that, if I look back, if I go on the cabinet right now, I could pull out the old jacket I purchased from that gym. I still have it. So yeah, it's just like I do miss that part of it. But over time, I learned how to train by myself.
Okay, and
like that can be motivating to me, is to just by myself. Like that's in a sense that's my time away from things. Like that's my de-stress time, like from work. Or even from like family life or whatever, just my time to get out there by myself and just get lost in training.
Yeah.
So to me, that's motivating.
And then, Brad, whenever you say that it feels lighter in the gym, and there's why do you think that is?
Well, like I said, I think it's a mental thing more than anything. It truly could be a more balanced bar and more calibrated plates, than my old clunkers that I've got back there. So, there could be a tiny, tiny bit of that. But I don't know. To me, it just, when I go to the gym in Reno, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's cycles or something too, because it seems like that's always my best day is Thursday. And maybe it's because my sleep is better or whatever. There could be other factors that might play into that. But it's kind of motivating, The gym there is kind of family owned, the same gentleman and his wife. They've coached me on the platform a couple times. They've owned it now forever. The T-shirts that they give away, it says "Family of Iron" on the side, and you walk down the hallway there, and all the pictures are on the side of all their local lifters, and you'll pass my picture there at Raw Nationals, and you walk in there, and hey, how's it going? And you get to say hi to people, and there's some really strong ass people there, that just kind of sometimes that alone is just motivating. It's like, oh wow, there's so and so over there, that can pin press 405 pounds. It kind of gets you in that mindset. I think a lot of it is just mindset.
I wonder if the reason you don't feel as motivated at home is because you have that to compare it to, like, because it contrasts. Like, whereas Jeff only has home all the time, and he never feels really unmotivated.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But you go on this high, and then so when you come home, it like feels like a low, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's possible. It's very possible. Yeah. And I mean, there's sometimes when I just get scared. That's the bottom line. I'll look at what Eric's got on the list for me that day, and I'm like, I gotta do what? And so sometimes maybe I go into it with a little bit of reservations,
Yeah. Do you have to worry about spotters ever? Like, are you just never test at home?
That's a good question for home gym. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there are times. Most of the time, I mean, Xander's usually here, so he'll spot me. But I do have to get creative. I mean, sometimes it's like, well, you know what? I can't. I know I got to do this today, but I can't do it today. I'm going to have to do that. At the gym in Reno or down at the little gym here at the end of the street. So yeah, sometimes I do got to get creative, and I kind of switch things around. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's just mindset. It's just a matter of, I know I can do it. I've done it before, but it's just, you'll look at those numbers on the spreadsheet and your eyes get really big and you're like, oh shit, and then usually one of two things happen. I'll either go sit down on the couch and put it off until tomorrow, or I'll, put some inspirational videos on and start warming up and getting geared up, and then, use the Godfather's GSD. Time to put your purse down and get it done.
Put your purse.
Oh shit! I like that.
That's a great quote there. Yeah.
Make it
Just
square.
put your purse down at GSD.
And Jeff, you never have those feelings. You're just like, whatever. This is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just gonna do it.
Most of the time it's like just brushing the teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I've learned to be safe because I don't have spotters.
Yeah.
So
you don't get too.
I think it's really taught me like to really be more aware of what my capabilities are.
Yeah. So
like on a bench press, I'm really good about not pushing past where I think I can do another one. Right. Knock on wood, I haven't crushed myself yet.
But I'm sure. I mean,
same thing.
That's something
Squats,
to consider.
Squats. I always put the safety arms up. Mm-hmm. And I make sure that it's at a height where if I do tank it, it'll catch it. Mm-hmm. And same thing. I'm really pretty aware of where I'm at, so I usually leave at least 1 to 2 in the tank when I'm squatting, at least. But yeah, you get really like good with your awareness with that stuff if you want to stay safe. Yeah. Even with the Smith, when I was doing those calf raises on the Smith machine, you're just like, okay, calf raises. But if I didn't put those safety arms up there, I probably would have broke my back or killed me because I had over 500 pounds on the bar. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So if I didn't have those arms up, man, it could have been way worse.
Yeah. Well, also another thing with Jeff, you always do a single session, right? Like your training for the day gets done within this amount of time. Before and after, you don't think about it. That's just when it is.
That's when it is, yeah, okay. Most of the time. Every once in a while, it's like an odd time, but for the most part, it's like set schedule.
But Brad, I also wonder if the motivation difference is when you're in Reno, you do that, but when you're at home, you do a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I don't know how he does. I don't know.
My training sessions are long though. You know, even the one in Reno, I got to get there by 3 if I want to be out of there at 5.
Mine are longer than that. But what I'm saying is that
it's like, Brad, is it like one set of bench? Okay, let me go fold some laundry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not the duration, but the fact that you come in and out of the focus, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Like if it was 30 minutes 3 times versus like 1 hour and a half, would you be more like zoned in and like, I mean, I don't know your exact schedule, but do you think that might have something to do with the motivation differences?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not. I'm sorry, that was a fly. But you know, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I would drive myself nuts a little bit. I have trouble sometimes just staying in a bedroom or staying, you know, in one spot. I just get bored.
That's right too. Know? You're in a both of y'all are in confined spaces.
Yeah, I don't think I could just sit there in the bedroom the whole time. You know, I mean, I do that on occasion, but then, you know, I'll finish the one exercise that I'm doing, you know, 3 sets of 12 or whatever, get set up for the next one. I'll probably hit that set, and then I got to get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, I got to see what the kid's laughing at on the TV, you know, or I got to come out and redo whatever I was doing out here at work, or just, you know, get a drink of water, go look outside, you know, whatever. And then, I guess I just get distracted because I get bored that way, and I've got ADD in that one respect. And then by the time I get back in there, it's 20 or 30 minutes later.
Oh my God. Yeah. See, I'm
the opposite.
Yeah. Like, you're just like, laser.
I'm in the zone. I'm right there. That's it. I got to get my shit done. But my space it's small. Like the actual training space is, like I said, it's 10 by 15.
Yeah.
But it's a 3-car garage, so I still have another, you know, another side over there. So it's not like I feel like I'm super confined. My old gym, though, the house I had prior to this one, that space was 9 by 11, I think. It was smaller because I actually built a couple walls and a door, put fancy carpet in there, put, you know, fancy walls, mirrors, stereo, TV. Like it was like, Brad remembers it. It was pretty. It was pimped out. Like so. And then it had, like, you know, the swords on there, the trophies, the pictures. So it was a little more motivating than that aspect. But yeah, I'm opposite of Brad. Like within that hour, I got to get my work done.
Right.
I can't go full laundry and come back and be like, yeah, let's get in there and do another set.
I wonder, though,
after folding some socks and underwear, right. So no.
I also wonder, too, I don't know if this is even helping listeners, but this is me being like, what's the difference? With, like, with Brad, damn it, I had it, and it was really important. What were you just talking about? The motivation, the room, the timing. Fuck. Okay, I lost it. I can't.
Lost it.
It'll come back. But go ahead, Brad.
Maybe I was going to say that if I did have a TV in my room where I could, like, put on a movie, like, you ever guys see where Brett Contreras, he'll watch like an entire 300 movie while he's training.
Wow.
And he'll put that shit right up on the wall. I could do that, you know, or like a football game, you know, or plug in my YouTube motivational videos and just.
You can put it on your phone. Earphones.
I do. Yeah, it's this big. It sucks.
It's the words that matter, Brad.
Big one.
Message. Yeah. No, what I was gonna say. Okay, it came back to me. Was that you are powerlifting, though, and you have some scary numbers, and Jeff is accumulating volume. Not that they're super different, but I think the mindset from getting the work done. This is more
risk.
Yeah, versus like, holy shit, I have like I don't know, whatever you have that makes your eyeballs get big that you said. So I wonder if that requires more out of your, like, obviously out of your nervous system, but your mentality too, of like, holy shit.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say is that while I might be distracted focus-wise in between sets, you know, like just last night, Xander and I were training, and I had to do a 3x5 with, I don't even remember what it was because I do it in kilos, but it was 172.5 kilos. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like really heavy, but I was exhausted. And I'm like, son, you do your next 3 sets, you know, and I'll do mine.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it's time as soon as it's time to do that set, then my switch kind of flips. And then I do my little rituals, and it's always the same thing. And then really it doesn't need, nothing exists. I mean, the freaking walls could fall down at that point and I wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of times it is, it's kind of like, I feel like I need to do this in order to get these numbers, and keep me on. Don't get me wrong. Like Jeff says, I'm at least safe. If I got to get 5 and the fourth one was like, and it took me like 5 or 6 seconds to get to the top, I'm not going to try the 5th one.
Right.
That's dumb. If I even think that I might not get it without any spotting bars and maybe Xander's in bed or he's gone, I'm not even going to do it,
Yeah.
But then I got to create it. I got to figure out a way to get that rep in maybe at the end of the session or, something like that. But yeah, a lot of times I'm just chasing numbers. I'm just trying to figure out how can I get, this amount of load for this many total repetitions. And then I just figure out how I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I will say on my bodybuilding stuff though, I just get it done.
Yeah.
Like last night I was tired and I had my blood flow occlusion stuff that I decided that I wanted to do because I was kind of pussed out and didn't want to do my regular work.
You're wearing your purse.
I did my biceps, put that down, and I did my triceps. Put that down, I did my biceps, and put that down. Then I popped off my little cheapy disposable tourniquets and went and ate.
Yeah. I guess something to consider too, though, is how when we talked about like driving distance and stuff like that, but you guys have kids too.
Yeah.
And I know that both, like you just mentioned Xander a bajillion times, that your teenager trains with you. And then I know sometimes when Ethan's not at school, right, the little one's with you?
Well, for example, I trained before the podcast, and it's lower body, so squatting. So it's kind of, I don't want him going in there at all because one, it's a safety concern for him, but it's also for me because it becomes a distraction. So the last thing I want them doing is like in the middle of a set walking in. So I was actually right before my set, he opened the door. Hi, Dad. I'm like, you can't come in here. I was trying to be nice, but like, you can't come in here. And then I hear Mom going, get back over here. Because she tells him you cannot go out there.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it could go bad really easily if you're distracted, especially on those big technical lists like that.
Right.
So like when I train, it's usually like 2:33 in the afternoon when I start. That's usually when they're coming home from work and school. So basically it's like, okay, they know at that time that's Dad's training out there, not to go in there. And I learned the hard way because basically I was deadlifting one day and I had my wife in there deadlifting with me. Her sister was there. We were all like training together. And then the kids were doing their thing on the other side of the garage, bouncing around. And I was literally so distracted. Like I thought I was going to hurt myself. And I told her, I said, we can't do this anymore. We can't do that. Like you can't make this like a family type thing. It just can't. It's just unsafe. I think when Ethan gets a little older, like Xander is, it might be different, but right now, because he's so little, it's just kind of unsafe.
When he was a baby, though, I feel like there's Instagram photos where he's like doing curls with me now, and then when he's a baby, he'd be in his little seat over there.
Curls are different than squats and deadlifts.
No, I know, but I thought you.
But yeah, like
I was
like one time,
I was thinking that you would babysit him. Yeah.
I put him in the high chair and let him draw or paint so I could work out. So when I was doing the babysitting duties, it was like if I was a training day, I'd take him out there and I'd put him in the high chair, give him some paint or whatever, and it's safe then because he's constrained in a high chair. Yeah,
but he does play with you and stuff. Do you bring him in there for the accessories sometimes?
Sometimes I'll let him, but for the most part lately, I haven't been letting him come out there.
Got a mind of his own now.
Too deep in prep mode, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a lot more active now, though, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That kid's all over the place.
Exactly. He's 4.5 now, so it's like at that age where it's like you can't say, "Okay, Ethan, just sit there." You gotta wait. He's like, "Bow, bow, bow." Energizer Bunny. I'm like, hey, I need that energy right now for my training, kid.
Yeah. So it's convenient as far as time goes, and if you had to babysit, and you're not wasting time in your day, all that stuff. But I'm saying, like, as a dad, it keeps you efficient. but it also, you need to consider when they're little, not crushing them.
There's pros and cons to it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to leave with, like, if y'all are having a bad day, Brad, you kind of talked about it a little bit, but, like, how do you answer that question when someone's like, how are you so motivated? And you say, I'm just brushing my teeth. But, like, what does that mean? Like, do you talk to yourself? Do you gear up for it, Jeff? Do you 30 minutes before watch a certain thing? Like, I don't know. What specifically?
I think I'm like anybody else. There's days where I'm like more motivated than other days. The days I'm not motivated, I know if I need to train. I mean, I got to be committed. Otherwise, I'm not going to attain my goals. So unless I'm just really feeling not good, like physically I just don't feel good, or just mentally just really in the dumper, then I'll say, you know what, probably a better idea not to train today. I'll train tomorrow when I'm feeling a little bit better, probably get better quality, better volume, all that good stuff. But if there's days where I'm like, okay, I think I need a cup of coffee, or I need to listen to some like good music. But a lot of times what I'm finding myself doing, like I'll look at my spreadsheet and look at, okay, what do I need to accomplish today? I'll look at my lifts. And then there's like maybe a 5-minute period where I'm like putting my squat shoes on or whatever, putting some different clothes on, whatever, go train, where I'm like in my mind getting my focus, like, okay, game face is going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I am by myself, like I could see how people would say, like, how do you stay motivated because you're by yourself? It's just, I think it's just over the years I just learned to adapt to training by myself. Yeah. Because like if I have a home gym, who am I going to train with?
Yeah.
And if I'm committed to my goals, it's just something I just have to do. So, and I'm kind of a hermit by nature.
Introverted.
Not hermit, but I'm introverted, so I like to be like, I remember my dad as a kid say, yeah, he can just sit there and watch football all day by himself, not ever go leave the house and he's happy. And that's how I was as a kid. Like I could sit there and just keep myself entertained. And when I get in big crowds, I just like, I don't want to be in big crowds. Yeah. So I'm just like, so in a way, it's like, that is my space. Like I said earlier, that's my time. That's when I like to get after it. I'm by myself. I feel good. And the world can't touch me at that point.
Right. It's meditative. I think it is. I don't know. People.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm a lot like Jeff, and I'll kind of make it sound hardcore first, and then I'll kind of start talking about the human side of me.
Okay.
But I mean, 85-90% of the time, the list of shit that I've got to get done by the end of the week is done, and that's kind of the bottom line. And when I can't get the other 5 or 15%, or on the rare occasion that maybe I only got like 60 or 70% of the work done, it pisses me off, is the bottom line. And it aggravates me that for whatever reason, whether it be I was not motivated, or I was injured, or, whatever, dieting, or, didn't have the time, it pisses me off. And I use that as motivation a lot of times to not get that way, because I don't like being pissed off. When I get pissed off, usually bad things happen.
I like the Hulk, Brad.
That being said, I am human. Saturday night, I wanted to train. And I got up and I went in there and I started setting everything up. And my legs were dead ass tired. It felt like I'd been dieting for like 2 weeks. I yawned. I was sleepy. And I was just like, fuck, I want to do this. I just don't know if I can. So I thought, well, okay, let's go get a cup of coffee. And keep in mind, it was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Sit down on the couch, get up, watch something on TV, and it's kind of the same thing. I got up, I tried again, and it wasn't in the cards. It felt like I was going to have to move a mountain at that point, and so I had to just chalk it up and say, well, you know what, it's not in the cards tonight. I even if I did train, it would be a shitty session. I would probably miss my numbers, and I'd be upset with myself. So I just had one kind of big long marathon day yesterday. That was actually a pretty good session. I just had to kind of go a little bit, skimpy on the secondary work, like my curls and my triceps that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, at the same time, I don't even know if I would be even this effective if I had to leave 4 or 5 times a week, and go to even the gym down the street, really, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
Just to have that I got a ton of shit to do right now. And it would stress me out, is kind of the bottom line. If I knew that I had to leave here, go down there, I'd probably rush through my training, if I got there at all, in order to get back here and get the shit done that I need to get done. I don't know that I would do it, even as committed as I am to my goals. And so I feel like I'm actually more effective and more able to attain my goals doing what I'm doing now. Because like I told you, the bottom line is at the end of the week, 85% of that shit is done every single week.
Okay. Go ahead, Jeff.
But I think regardless of home gym not or not, it's like you have to ask yourself, why are you accomplishing the reasonings behind it all? Like, why are you trying to accomplish your goals? Is it for external reasons or is it for internal reasons? And I think, like, probably speak for all three of us, a lot of what drives us is internally. Like, we don't necessarily have to rely on, I got to perform well for these people watching me in the gym, or I got to record my list for Instagram. It's like, we're gonna like, regardless, we're gonna do what we do, whether it's at a home gym, commercial gym, wherever. I think all three of us are still gonna do it because we all love what we're doing.
I literally don't know not being motivated to go to the gym. That's the one thing that I don't think I ever need motivation for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not 90%. Like, I honestly can't think of a day where I didn't wake up and was like, so I'm going to go to the gym. Like, literally, not just for the day, like, from naps. Like, every time I wake up, I'm like, it's gym time. And even here, like, if I was just telling you all today, I didn't do my accessories that are bodyweight stuff. I can do here because I have the bands I need, the kettlebell I need, and I have a pull-up bar that goes on the door. So I'll train 3 different times. Like, if it's scheduled for 2, I'll do 3 just because if I can. But it's the opposite in that if I'm ever like sitting at the computer and like dead, I'm like, fuck, I have to do this work thing. And I'm like, let me go do some leg raises. Like, it motivates me to do other things besides training to train.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, again, that might be fucking crazy. I don't know. But I do agree that motivation is just not even, I don't even think about it.
Well, I'm supposed to do cardio. Like today, I was supposed to do cardio. I was supposed to do my hour in the morning. I couldn't get up. I was so tired from the trip to LA. Thing. So I didn't do it, but I'm still going to, like right now, I was like, okay, I still have an hour. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm not motivated to go jump on my bike behind me for the next hour.
Yeah.
But I know in the back of my mind, it's like, if I don't get that done, what's going to be very demotivating is getting on stage looking like not the part, and then having that regret of like, well, shit, because I wasn't committed. Nothing to do with motivation, it was the commitment. I wasn't committed to do it, regardless how. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I also have the luxury though when I say every time I wake up, I'm ready to go, but because I don't have to wake up to take my kids anywhere. I don't have to, like, most of my things are not on a time schedule. It's just like, this is my day. I have to get this training done and this work done, other than podcasts and Skypes. While I don't train at home, which we've talked about how convenient that is for you guys, I guess what I've built into my life is that I do my very best to almost never schedule shit, because I have the time freedom to where it's like I can take a nap and then go train, or I can do some pull-ups to get blood flowing so that my back feels good for the next few hours of work, like at my computer. Like, I just have to switch gears a lot, and I have that freedom.
Yeah. And I will say that I do have that one day a week where I wake up and I'm giddy. I'm going to the gym. I can't wait to get there, So I do have that little taste of that, But at the same time, I think kind of what the bottom line is what we're all talking about here is we do the things that we know we want to do and we want to achieve, but we set ourselves up for success.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, Andrea, you do your mobility work and your dynamic warm-up and your secondary work. You do that at home. It's right there. It's convenient. You can get it done. That way you can get all that checked off your list, and the stuff that I want to achieve, it's internal, it's stuff that I've been had a solid attachment to for a long, long time. And I know that I'm not going to achieve those things unless first I put the work in. Mm-hmm. And number 2, if I got to drag myself to the gym and I might put this week of training off until next week and then that week until next, that's not going to set me up for success on what it is that I want to do. However, moving my home gym from my back porch into my bedroom, that's a big step in setting myself up for success, because now I don't have to fight the freaking weather. I don't have to go out there and be all ready to go. I'm ready to squat. I'm ready to bench. I'm ready to do whatever. Psh, there's this much snow out there. That's happened to me before. No more. That shit doesn't get in my way anymore. So I think that's kind of a big part of it is do what you got to do to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, I think it's just for me, the big thing is just the efficiency and the flexibility because like I said, it's just the logistics of it. I don't have to get in my car and drive.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was one time I was doing split sessions. I was doing my accessory lifts in the morning, then doing my main lift in the afternoons, just because of the way my life scheduled at the time.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that at a regular gym if I had to drive to the gym twice. I mean, that would be
if it was far,
it'd be inconvenient for my life. That gave me some nice tools at the time, the efficiency of it all.
I should also say I live really close to my gym, or relative compared to y'all. Actually, no, Brad, you're the closest here to a gym. I forget. He's literally down the road.
Yeah, down right at the end of the street.
So I think in a nutshell, there's just a lot of pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
But I'd say for me personally, in the beginning, a lot of the cons were, how can I make all this stuff work? But I mean, with anything we do in this sport, as you move along, you get better and better and more effective and more efficient.
Yeah.
And that's basically how I am now. I'm like, I know how to make things work now with the environment I have. And still learning. It's like still figuring out little things here and there that can make the home gym better to make it work better.
Yeah. But it works for y'all. So that was a good way to close it up. Brad, do you want anything else?
I thought so too. That's why I said it.
I know. I heard it.
I was trying to steal your job.
It's okay. I liked it.
All right.
Brad, we done?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, I closed on what I wanted to close on. So.
Okay. Thanks for sharing, guys.
I'm going to go work out.
Okay. Have fun.
Hey, everybody. It's Eric Helms. Thanks for tuning into our podcast. As you know, at 3DMJ, we promote evidence-based approaches to the lifting community. If that's something you want to dive deeper into, I'd encourage you to check out my research review, Monthly Applications in Strength Sport, or for short, MASS. This is a review that myself, Dr. Mike Zerdos, and Greg Knuckles put out every month. We cover the latest research publications that are applicable to strength and physique athletes, or anyone who's looking to get stronger or improve their body comp. Our content is in both written and video format. For more information on how to subscribe, check out 3dmusclejourney.com/mass. That's 3dmusclejourney.com/MASS for further details. Thanks for tuning in.